Hey everyone, it's Jessica and I'm back with another Scraplift video for you. Today I am lifting this gorgeous layout by Julie Taylor, and I absolutely love her layouts. She is definitely my style. We have similar interests and ways we like to put things onto our pages, and I was just so excited to do one of her layouts today. So I'm hoping that I can do it justice. It looked like she had some mixed media on hers. She went with a white background, but I wanted to change it and not do exactly the same thing. So I went with a gray background, and I've prepped it with some white gesso, and this is just the Liquitex gesso. And then I've started with some Shimmerz in the Boogie Boardin blue, and I'm just kind of watering it down. I'm adding some water to my actual gesso there. I let it dry overnight so that it wasn't an issue and it didn't get kind of tacky. And then I added my mixed media on top here the next day. And I just kind of watered it down a little bit in the pot, and then I sprayed some water directly onto my page to blend it around as well. And I'm using the yellow colors. The gold one is called Minor 49er, and then I'm going in here with some Daffodil color as well. So I'm just kind of smushing them around my page using my water and my paintbrush, watering them down as I go, watering down my page as I go, adding splatters as I go. So it's really just about kind of building those layers. So I'm doing lots of speckles on top of those, and then I'm drying them up in between each layer that I kind of place down. So I'm going to use my heat gun on this and I'm going to dry each layer. So here is kind of that first layer that's dry, and then I'm going to go in and just keep building it. So it's all about the layers on this mixed media for me and what I can add to it, and you can see that kind of taking more shape and becoming a little bit darker now, because I find with those shimmers sometimes as they dry, they kind of dry transparent, and then they kind of go away as they dry a little bit. So you really got to build them up sometimes to get that dimension and color that you're looking for. So here I'm just drying another layer, and I'm gonna add, I think this is the final layer, and I'm adding some Nouveau shimmer spray just for splatters as well, because those ones are a little bit darker, and then I'm adding some more gold to it as well too. So lots of layers in this mixed media. It was a little bit time consuming, but not too bad. I'm just impatient with the dry time is all, so I usually use my heat gun between my layers, and then when I'm done with that, to flatten it out, because it was a little bit rippled and warped from all of the mixed media, I ran it through my ink machine, my laminator, to actually flatten it out, and that really helped dry those layers and make the page flat again. So here I'm just layering up my photo. This is a photo of my husband while we were at the amusement park with my kids, and we were riding on the merry-go-round with them, and I snapped this photo of him on his little horsey, and of course he was thrilled to have his picture taken on this horse, right? But I'm kind of mixing collections, which isn't normally my thing. Normally I stick with one collection, but today I'm just kind of using up some bits from my Blvd Over the Moon, or To the Moon, I think it's called, collection. And then I'm also pulling out a kit from the Not Just for Boys Kit Club, which is this one that I'm using right now. I think it's called You the Man or something like that, but I'll link it below for you so that you have it, and in case you want it. But there I'm just kind of tucking little bits and pieces in from that Blvd collection, and using some of the chipboards up, and I'm going to use that My Guy acrylic star for my title. That is by the Not Just for Boys Kit Club, and I think it's still in the shop, but I'll have to check. They may not have that color. They may only have red and yellow left, but I'll check and see if it's there, and I'll put links down below for you, of course. So I'm pulling out some adhesive from Thermoweb. That's another design team I'm on. Sorry, I keep mentioning all these teams and things, but I just want to make sure that you guys have the resources for everything in case you need it, or in case you want to grab anything. But I'm just using their adhesive. I use those medium-sized glue dots to adhere this Flair down by Scrappin Happy Studio, which I absolutely love. I'm addicted to her stuff lately, and I've been using it on a lot of my layouts. And I love to put thread behind it like this and just kind of swirl it around behind it. It adds some dimension and interest and some texture to the layout, and I just love the way that it looks. So I've pulled out that gold thread to use. It's kind of like a wire. It's thread, but it's really wiry, so it's got a different texture to it than thread does, but I really like it, and I have it in silver too, so it's really cool. So I'm just gonna stick those down, and then I'm gonna start just kind of building this layout and placing a lot of stuff down. So Julie's layout had a lot of things on hers. She featured some stamping along with her mixed media, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to pull out a whole bunch of Elle Studio stamps, and I'm going to stamp with some black archival ink and some Peacock ink by Close to My Heart. So I think I'm going to pull out some yellow too and bring that in. Some distress ink. I'll probably use mustard seed because it matches the yellow pretty good that I already have on this layout. So I went with the archival ink for my black because if I use distress inks, they are going to be more distressed, where I have a lot of wording that I'm using with my stamps today, so I want them to be nice and crisp and clean, and I find that the archival ink stamps a lot better on top of mixed media and gesso, so that's why I'm using that today. So I'm just pulling out a lot of different stamps, a lot of little wordy bits that are going to go with this layout. We had a pretty fun day that day, and my boys had an absolute blast, so it was a really fun time, and I wanted to bring that to this layout, just make it a fun and kind of wild and crazy layout. So yeah, so it kind of reflects our day that we had. So I'm just pulling in a lot of just kind of random bits. I just got that little pack from Elle Studio, so I'm going to use maybe one or two of those little circle stickers. And you can see the little acrylic stars laying on my desk right now. Those are going to go on this layout. Those are by Elle Studio. I've used some on a layout in another video previously, and I'm going to try to use them up today, but I think I'm still going to have a couple left because I think I had some red ones in that pack that I pulled out that I still have left because I didn't really pull in any red on this layout. I wanted to steer away from red. I wanted to focus on my main colors, blue and yellow, which is my typical colors that I always use, but I try to get away from it sometimes, but I kind of always come back to those blues and yellows, so they're my my typical color scheme that I like. But that's pretty much what I'm sticking with. Just gonna kind of keep building this. I'm gonna stamp some of these cute little chevrons on here. That's like one of my favorite stamp sets lately. And I'm just gonna kind of do some random little arrows on here. Julie had some on her layout that were kind of similar to that, so I'm gonna go with those as well, kind of sticking closely to her design and just hoping that I'm doing her layout justice because her layouts are beautiful. If you guys are not following her on Instagram and Facebook and all of that good stuff, please do, and please check her out. She is on several design teams. Her work for Bramble Fox is absolutely amazing, and I seriously love every single layout that she does, and I just love her style and how she puts things together, and just every layout of hers seems to be unique but yet the same kind of style, and I just absolutely love it. So I'm loving that I'm scraplifting her today and finally getting to do one of these pins that I have on my Pinterest board of hers. So it just makes me super happy. And I just love all these layers. I love just all the stamping and the mixed media and all these beautiful colors. And even though my picture does not match with this layout at all, but it would have been really hard for me to match this because that carousel is just such a goofy color, and with the horse in it, I tried to match it with the horse a little bit, but like pulling in the blacks, but you know, it's just, there's a lot of color going on in the photo itself, so I thought I would do it justice by adding this wild and crazy layout and all of these little elements to it. So it was just kind of a perfect layout to pick to scrap lift for this photo, just because it is a little bit wild and crazy. So those little die cuts are from the Bella Boulevard collection that I'm using. And then again, this little acrylic title is from the Not Just for Boys Kit Club, and just using Nuvo glue to apply that. It'll dry clear, so I know that I don't have to worry about making a mess or anything with it. And I'm just gonna kind of add these little bits. I have just a few little bits left from that collection, trying to use them up, but still sticking with my color scheme. So I pulled out anything that's red because I'm not gonna use that on here. And then just adding little bits You've seen me change that layout in the top there, top left, probably several times already in this layout. I kind of struggled with that little section. There, I've pulled that off again. I'm gonna go with this. So this is actually what I go with, and I stick with it. I pull out some other little acrylic bits that I've had in my stash for a long time. These little cameras are super cute, but I always forget that I have them. So I'm going to use one of those today, and I'm just going to tuck this little cute frame in from that photo play collection. And I'm just going to use a couple of those chipboard stars there. I'm going to put some more of these little acrylic arrows on, and yeah, so it's just so fun. It's such a fun layout today. I absolutely loved creating this one, and just gonna finish adding these little bits on here. I was gonna use those little yellow sequins from Not Just for Boys, but I decided not to use those ones, and I just used these other ones by Catherine Pooler, and then I pull out a couple other ones from the Kit Club, so I'm still using some from there, but just kind of pulling in whichever ones have my colors that I'm using. So there you see all my little sequins are attached now, and I'm gonna work on this upper corner a little bit to finish this spot off. I'm actually gonna pull up that star and add a couple things from my stash. I've stamped my date there. I'm gonna pull out some Mombi stickers, I think they're called. They've been in my stash for a long time too. So I'm just gonna kind of use a couple of those. Yeah, here they are. I've had them for a long time, but I really like them. I got them from Michael's so long ago. I don't even think they sell these anymore. But I really like them, and they look really cute on here. They're kind of like chalkboard style, so yeah, they're cute, but I don't have a whole lot left, so I'm trying to kind of use up some of my stash rather than buy more all the time. And I've been doing some stash busting, so I was really happy to get to use some of these today. I found this fun little flag banner thing that I'm going to put right there, and then I'm going to pop down another round sticker. I decided to go with one of these. You'll see here in a second. I'm going to pop it down. But of course I want to add some more thread to it first. So it's just something fun I love to do. I love different elements and different things that I can pull in for texture and dimension, so I just love to put that thread behind them. And I use the glue dots because they're really, really super sticky, so they work out really well. And I just got a new order from, I talk about using up stash, but that one's actually from the order that I just got from Scrappin Happy Studio. So yeah, so stuff's always coming in, but not enough of it goes out into these layouts. So I seem like I'm acquiring so much stuff. But here's the finished layout, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and feel free to check out Julie's other layouts and her Instagram. I'll link below. So thank you so much for watching, and feel free to hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.